we're going to do a real quick Mother's Day craft that any mom would enjoy. So what you need is, you're going to need 3 ingredients. You're going to need flour, salt, and water. And you don't need very much at all. You're going to need a 1/2 cup of flour, a 1/4 cup of salt. You're going to mix those together in a small bowl, and then you're going to add a 1/4 cup of water. Okay? So I'm going to use this. This is going to be a second batch that I made. But I'm going to take my 1/2 cup, and I'm going to get my flour, and I'm going to put that in. Again, that's a 1/2 cup of flour. And I'm going to put all my dry ingredients in first. Then I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of salt. I'm going to mix that up. And then I'm going to add a 1/4 cup of water. Okay. And this mixes up pretty easy. So I'm going to mix that. Okay. And it's going to start to feel, look and feel a little crumbly. But I'm going to keep mixing and mixing and mixing and pushing down. Try to get all of the stuff that's on the bottom to mix in. Now, if it's too sticky, then go ahead and add a little bit more flour. And if it's too dry, if it's not sticking together, and still, this is not too dry. I'm going to give you a quick view here. Okay. I'm still trying to mix it. I'm going to try to get that in. Then, if I can kind of pick it up in a big lump, kind of like this, that's pretty good. Because then I'm going to use my hands, and I'm going to pass it back and forth in my hands until it gets kind of smooth. And then it will be the consistency that I can roll it out. Okay? So I'm going to squeeze it in my hands back and forth. And I can even try to get the rest of it that's in the bottom. Keep squeezing it until it starts to feel kind of soft and like Play-Doh. Okay? All right. Then, okay, so that's for the dough. Then you're going to get a plate, a paper plate, or some parchment paper or wax paper, something that you'll be able to pick your creation up, okay? So I'm just going to use some parchment paper. Now, my dough is nice and soft now, so what I can do is, I have enough that I can make 2 things out of it. I can make 2 creations out of it, okay? So I split it in 2, and I'm going to take one and roll it in a ball. Okay. And I'm going to roll it out. Not too thin. Trying to keep it in a circle, because to make the owl that we're going to make an owl. And then if you want to make something different, then you have the other piece that you had from your batch, and you can make something else, or you could make another one for somebody else. Okay? All right, so I've got this rolled out, and I will go ahead and let you see the consistency of it. So it kind of looks like a small pancake, doesn't it? Okay, and it's not too thin, but just right. Okay, now on to the decorating part. Okay, so I've got this in the shape of a ball. I think I'm gonna put it on this paper plate here, and I'm gonna show you how I would roll it out. I'm just gonna push it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna use my rolling pin, and I'm gonna kind of keep turning it. Now, it's got a little crack in it right there. That's okay, I can fix that as I go. Okay, so I'm gonna roll it out, try to keep it in the shape of a circle. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I did do it a little bit thinner at the top because I'm going to end up folding that over. But it's fine if it's the same consistency all around. That's perfectly fine too. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that's got a nice straight edge. Okay, so now that I have my circle, here's what we're going to do. We're going to decorate it. So I'm going to take the top of my marker and I'm going to kind of only push the bottom part of the marker in to make what looks like feathers on my owl. Okay, so I'm going to make a few rows of those. I'm not going to have to go all the way up. Now, you don't have to do it like that. You could do it a different way. You could use your fork maybe that you mixed your dough with. You could use that. Or you could use this. It doesn't matter. We just need some feathers on the belly. It just makes it look nice. Okay. Then I can, so about halfway up. So then there's 3 steps to make the shape of the owl. Once you have a design on this part of it, I'm going to take the edges on the outside and I'm just going to fold them in about halfway so they touch. Okay, like that. And I'm going to make sure it's nice and even, okay? I've still got that little crack there. Now what you can do is you can take a little water and smooth it out too, okay? Then, so you can see the belly feathers there, right? Now I'm going to take the top and I'm going to fold it down to that same spot. Now, once I fold it down, I can kind of push and kind of make it curve up like a smile. But then when you get to the top, I'm going to pinch it and that makes the ears of the owl. I can kind of flatten it a little bit more because owls have kind of big heads, don't they, with big eyes. Then I'll pinch his ears a little bit more. Okay, and I can even puff him out in the center a little bit. I just want to make sure I don't push on that center part where that design is. All right. Okay, so now it kind of looks like an owl, doesn't it? Now I need some eyes. I'm going to put a big eye right here. I'm using that same top of my marker. Another eye here. I'm also going to poke something in the center to make it look like he's got a pupil. And this is just a mechanical pencil. Then one last thing, we know owls have beaks. So I'm just going to use the edge of my fork and I'm going to make a line going from one eye down to the center and another one going from the other eye down to the center, and now he has a beak. Perfect. If you wanted to, you could put a hole in it so you could put some string through and hang it somewhere. When they dry, you can color them, but you're going to have to let them dry for 3 maybe to 5 days and make sure that, see how I can pick it up, and if I don't push too hard, I can kind of get it up, and then you're going to flip it over and let the back side dry. And then you're going to flip it back over because the front side will need to dry more. Flip it over a few times, and then you can make a card to go with it, or you could use your plate and just write a message on it like this. I made mine with the word who because that's the sound that owls make. Who has the best mom? Me, that's who. So I hope you enjoyed that activity. You can use your leftover dough. You should have another piece of dough. I just rolled one out and thought, oh, if that owl was a little hard, maybe you could roll out a circle and then just cut a triangle out of the top, follow it around to a point, and then all I have to do is trim the edges off, and I've got a nice heart. And then you could put a message on it, or you could wait till it dries and color it. You could probably write a message on it. There's even a spray you can get that will help make like a seal on it. Okay, so hopefully you had enough dough that you could make something else. You can make another owl, or you can make anything you want. But now I hope you have a nice project or a craft to give someone this Mother's Day, your very important person, to show you how much you appreciate everything they do for you. Thanks for joining.